What's up? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. So here we go again, guys. Philly McMahon, Shilly McMahon, Philly the Shilly, Philly No Mates, as I'm sure he's about to become known, has done an interview and it is waffle. It's absolutely unbelievable to see the things that this guy is parroting. And I mean, he's kind of coming across like Forrest Gump nowadays, because he's just saying things that he has no concept about whatsoever. And I'm going to show some receipts here in this video. And like the great Kevin McAllister said in Home Alone, you guys give up, or are you thirsty for more? Well, it seems like you're thirsty, and I'm happy to oblige. Now what you see here on this post is 37.3k views. I always like to do this. And 77 likes. News Talk have over 250,000 followers on Twitter. Over 250,000 people are following News Talk, and this has only gathered 77 likes. I'll tell you what to do, guys. Make sure you like this video and take it past the 77 like count. I'd say it'd probably be beaten within about an hour, maybe 2. But this is from 15 hours ago at the time of screenshotting this. So I gave them a fair amount of time, which is something I always like to do. I'm a very fair person. And they've gotten more views than my video is likely to get. Probably, if I get 200 views on this video, it'll probably amass more than 77 likes. That seems to be the current trend of how things go. So, let's do it. Let's get it done. Former Dublin footballer, Philly McMahon. Now, I'm happy that you said that, because what happens with an awful lot of these people is they retire and they don't know what to do. They got out of the limelight and they want to get back into the limelight. That's why these fellas do things in the media and punditry and stuff like that, because they crave attention. And this is what it is all about for this guy, in my view. Has said people from his native Ballymun. Native Ballymun. That means the media is actually confirming that he doesn't live in Ballymun. So the next time the left or the media want to come out and say it's not fair that Philip Dwyer, Derek Blythe, Satirical Soldier, the Irish Git, Dave Cullen, Grant Torino, whoever it might be, is at a protest and they're not actually from their area, you could just point them back to this and say, there you go. You're saying that this fella can have a spoke in about an area that he doesn't live in anymore. Very interesting, isn't it? Are coping on. Guys, that was an error that was made, I think, 3 times at least in the article. Who's your editor? Why is that not COPPING? What's the story there? You see, it's an amateur profession, I think, this journalism that these people are shown. And for me, this is why I came onto this platform, because I looked there and said, there's an awful lot of amateur stuff going on over there, and I'm just going to throw my hat into the ring. Now, I'm Clown World Commentary. I'm just letting you know that I'm not professing to be some sort of professor or some sort of lecturer or someone that's got a degree in journalism, even though, to be honest with you, I might as well use it as a wet wipe or toilet paper nowadays with the way these people go on, because these people are just being paid to talk absolute nonsense. There's absolutely no way, in my opinion, that these people actually believe what they're saying. There can't be. And if they are, wow. Anyway, to misinformation, you see, they can't say lies. This is something that you've noticed over the last few years as well. They've started to change words. Misinformation, what does that mean? Well, it's information we don't like. That's what that is. Because when you point out the amount of people that are coming into the country, and I'm going to show you that, and all the problems that are happening in the country, some people were actually recommended to me recently to have a look into the likes of getting a freedom of information from the prison system to see how many people that are convicted and are actually in our jails, because they wanted to talk about what Enoch Burke cost the taxpayer for him being in jail. Let's find out how many different nationalities are in the jails, and we'll see what happens there. Then we'll get a bit of a cost in for them, will we? How about that? Anyway, and right-wing groups. What does right-wing mean, Philly? Do you know what that means? Can you define it? Can you explain that? Because if you can, that'd be fantastic. And let people know what that means. Now, I know that these people will try and say, oh, we're going to show you the guy from 1930s, 1940s Germany. Yeah, left-wing he was, socialist. What about the guy there in Italy? Yeah. Left-wing, socialist he was as well too. So there you go, 2 for 2 on that one. Have a bit of that. Now, I'm going to keep moving on here into this video. And again, like I said, I'll be posting the receipts as we go through this. But this stuck out to me in the article. Now, I'm not going to read the article for you because, to be honest with you, it's complete and utter waffle, and it's more of the, we need to stick together and not be worrying about people that are coming into the country or anything like that. You know, pure Forrest Gump stuff, like, in my view. But he goes on to say this, and this shows you everything that you need to know about this individual and the types of stuff that this fella is parroting. These are people saying protect Irish women against refugees. Well, they're bogus though. And that's very clear from the busloads of people that are getting off into the places. And not only that, men, particularly young men, and people know what's been happening in the UK. They know what's been happening in France. They know what's been happening in Sweden and what is happening in America also. And they don't want any of that here. I think they're absolutely right. Protect Irish women against refugees, and the same people opposed these things here. Now, you know my stance on this. You may or may not agree with me, but I am someone that is pro-life. He's telling you that he's not pro-life. Just think about what he's saying here now for a moment, because he obviously hasn't thought this through, and if he has thought it through, it just seems more and more sinister then when you think about it. What he is saying is, wheel people in from other countries, don't worry about them, get more of them in, but Irish futures, we'll just talk about it like that because we might as well, because you have to dance around it here on this platform, particularly if you're pro-life. Irish futures, no, they don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And people are starting to see that now. They're starting to look around them on the streets. They're starting to look around them. Friends of mine that have kids in schools, they're saying the exact same thing. They're like, hang on here for a second. A lot of them are looking at going to Gael schools now in future. And that's the next target, by the way, from the left. They're going to start targeting Gael schools next. People in Ballymun are coping. Oh my God, onto these people, and I think that's important. He's saying, people aren't turning up to these protests anymore. Wrong. You see the amount of people that were turning up in Finglas, and that's going to keep going. Not only that, but outside the Shelbourne as well also. So there you go. But this happened in Talbot Street only recently there. This happened in the last week, and this comes from a lady here called Jasmine. Be doing a video on this, and she says, girls, can everyone please be aware of this man with another man? I was doing my shopping with the baby. He was following me for ages, followed me into Iceland. I had my back turned and I caught him taking pictures and videos of my baby. I'm absolutely shaken. Be careful, girls. He told me the pictures were only for himself. Talbot Street. I'm going to be doing a video on that, but spoiler alert, if he's saying they're for himself, I'm telling you now, I'm not even going to make a further comment on that. But that also shows you then, if he's saying it's not for myself straight away, it shows you that what they've been previously doing is there's little groups that are getting involved in certain things, if you know what I'm saying, if you catch me drift there on that one. Here we have the occupancy breakdown by nationality, and this is as per the RAU report week 2 2023. And as you can see here, look at the amount of nations that are there and the amount of people coming in. Georgia, Nigeria, Algeria, Somalia, all topping the polls here. This is weird, is it not? This isn't the blue and yellow flag waving country. This is quite odd. This is not what the government and the media have been telling us here, guys. Afghanistan, South Africa, Pakistan, Albania. Tell you what, Botswana, Congo. There's the blue and yellow country. Bangladesh, Egypt, Morocco, Malawi, Syrian Arab Republic. By the way, this is 2023. El Salvador, Ghana, Sudan, Sierra Leone, Iraq, India, Ethiopia, Bolivia, Kenya, Iran, Swaziland, Uganda, Eritrea, Cameroon, Togo, Nicaragua, Palestinian Territory, Angola, Brazil, Mauritius, Tunisia, Yemen, Turkey, Jordan, Kosovo, Guatemala, Libyan Arab, Kuwait, United States of America, Lebanon, and other at 529. Wonder where they're coming from. But there you go. That's what's been brought into the country. And they keep telling us, these people, they're going to bring so much strength and diversity to our country. There's that meme that's floating around now at the moment, the Riddler. Riddle me this. If they're going to strengthen our country, why do their own countries not want to keep a hold of them? You know what I mean? Very simple in my view. The Irish Times here. Thousands of passengers destroy or lose passports before arrival at Dublin Airport. October 6, 2022. That's illegal. That's illegal. So, again, but they're trying to just go across. It's like us going to the UK if the anything sort of kicked off here. That's actually what Philly McMahon was saying. Shilly McMahon, I should be calling him. Philly no mates. This guy was out there saying that. If something happened in Ireland, people who go to the UK, it's right that they send a young male. What are you talking about? If anything kicked off here, the men would be staying and they'd be sorting it out. They wouldn't be going running scarpering. And not only that then, they wouldn't be sending the young fella away. That's absolutely nuts. And then you have this. This is it all in a nutshell. The Irish government's now put this out. The Department of Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth put this out. So is this now a far right bigotophobe account now on Twitter? And is this a far right bigotophobe statement that they're making now? Now, I'll break it down and I'll tell you what they're talking about here, because initially it sounds, oh, happy days, they're listening to the people, but they're not really, just so you know. So keep it up with the protests, keep it up with questioning these people, and don't forget as well, question them as well about the sniffles from the last couple of years, because this is another diversionary tactic to try and distract people, believe you me. The Irish government asked those who are considering seeking refuge in Ireland and who are currently in places of safety not to travel to Ireland at this time and to defer. That's the important word there, defer. That means not right now, lads, but later on. So defer is an incredibly important word here in this statement. Like I said, it starts off well, and in my view, anybody that's running the country, if they had any sort of sense, which they don't because they're playing to bigger masters, what they are doing is they're just saying, right, we'll just keep the heat off us right now, let people forget about it, and then just continue doing what we're doing anyway. That's what that means, in my opinion. Making travel arrangements to come to Ireland. This is due to a severe shortage of available accommodation. So there you go. Back to the original statement there, and to me, I keep asking these questions to these people. Philly, are you taking any of these refugees into your home? And if you aren't, why not? Liam Cunningham, Games of Thrones actor, are you taking anybody into your house? Are you seeking sort of anyone that's out there to be brought into your home? You're actively doing anything about that. And what about all the other do-gooders that are out there? All these people, oh, you know, refugees are welcome here. How many have you welcomed into your home? Because I tell you what, that's where they should be going. If you want people to be rolled into the place, you should be taking them on and take them into your gaff. Oh, we don't have the space. Yeah, you're right. Because an awful lot of people can't afford a house now, particularly around Dublin, because they are now six figures, and it's going to be the same throughout the country. That's the plan, because these people have all told you this now in advance, the likes of Eamon Ryan, Simon Coveney. They've told you what they want to do, and what they want to do is bring people in hand over fist, because it's all a money earner, it's all a spinner. This is what it's all about. And ultimately, you've got guys like this being questioned in this article, which is absolutely fantastic to see. The comments were overwhelmingly negative towards News Talk and Philly McMahon. They have lost the narrative here, guys. There was people asking them, is he a local champion? How much is he being paid to say these type of things? How much is he getting to say these type of things? What a shill he is. It's absolutely incredible stuff, because people have just full on turned against the media, and now they're looking at what's going on within the government. They're like, oh, there's distractions and chaos happening. Yeah, no, that's all of what it is a distraction. Oh, Pascal Donoghue's doing this, oh, Sinn Féin's doing that. It's all a distraction. They're all on the same team. Don't worry about that. These people are on the same team, and what they want to do is they want to stop grassroots movements that have been happening around the place. And the grassroots movements that have been happening are absolutely fantastic, and that's what these people are ultimately trying to send a message out about. Hey guys, these grassroots movements, we don't like them, we feel nervous about them, they're panicking us, and rightfully so, because now the narratives are being lost and people are talking amongst themselves, and they're talking and saying, here, what do you think about people being wheeled into this country, being given a free gaff, being given free healthcare, the best of clobber, food, place to stay, free of cost, and getting rowdy down in the likes of City West? What do you think about that? And then they're being moved on into other places. But the Irish people that I know, you know, yours truly as well too also, many people have to be in relationships. I'm not saying I have to be in a relationship. What I'm saying to you is an awful lot of people out there are compelled to be in a relationship now to just buy a home, rather than being someone with they truly love and that they can buy a home and have a family. This is the type of stuff that's going on. Meanwhile, you see people being wheeled into the place then that are just being shoved into gaffs and are given everything that they want. And if one person leaves, that's grand. They're set up somewhere else then. But Irish people here, different story. Now, I believe that people are going to be unified and united going forward, and I just want to reference the article here when he's talking about this. Ladies, Irish ladies, telling you now, this whole idea of going out and going to festivals and buying a Gucci bag and everything like that, bad idea. Settle down, absolutely, with a right man, a good man, and have kids. Make sure that the Irish future is well and truly taken care of, because what they are trying to sell you on through the media is the likes of this Love Island nonsense and all of these ladettes type of stories and all this sort of stuff. It's not what you need. More for the future. That's exactly what's needed, because you can best believe that anyone else that's been wheeled into the place, they're not buying into any of that. I'm telling you now. I'm guaranteeing you that now. They don't buy into that. They really don't. And you're starting to see it, and look around yourself when you're in town, when you're in Blanchardstown, when you're in, I would say even have a look in Dundrum and see if you see similar things that you're seeing in Dundrum as you would in town. Are you seeing the similar things as well too out in Tala? Have a look around. But there you go, guys. Another video done. I'm sure that they'll come out with more. It's great to see, because it just keeps the content rolling in my view, and there's always something to talk about. But I think what's important to note is that more and more people are joining this side of the fence rather than that side of the fence, and that side of the fence is losing support actively. They are in serious trouble. They are out in the middle of the ocean now at the moment, and there are great whites circling, and these people have no clue what to do. They haven't been in this position before, and they've been put into this position really quickly, and more quickly than they ever expected. These people thought they had a monopoly on this for the next 100 years. They thought they had a monopoly on this until 2030 and 2040. People that are in government and in the media talking about 2030 and 2040. You're like, sure, you're not guaranteed seats there, are you? Well, you know what the story is there as well as I do. That's what they're doing. So keep an eye on that. Great to see the amount of people that weren't supporting this. Great to see the low amount of likes on it. I think is absolutely brilliant, with the amount of views that you see. So make sure you like this video. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring, of course. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted in the description down below. It's part of the channel. And I will talk to you later. Good luck.